This video is sponsored by NordVPN. China is a massive country. With a population of over 1.4 billion people, it's one of the largest nations in the world. While China is home to 20% of the world's population, it only holds 6% of the world's total freshwater resources. Due to China's rapid economic growth and population size, the country is one of the world's leading water consumers. China withdraws 600 billion cubic meters of water on a yearly basis. This extreme amount of water being consumed has hindered the country's water supply lines and caused water scarcity. The Chinese government's attempts to solve the problem have not gone to plan, only worsening the water crisis. But all of this raises the question, why is China running out of water, and how can this complex problem be solved? To answer this, we first need to take a look at China's current water distribution network. Most of China's water supply resources are located in southern China, while 2/3 of the population and most of the farmland is located in northern China. The so-called line that separates East and West China illustrates where most of the population is located and where most of the fresh water ends up going. This is one of the key factors behind the water crisis, as it is nearly impossible to change the distribution of water across the country. Only 21% of China's water goes towards domestic use, with 69% towards agriculture and 10% for industrial purposes. 80% of China's water supply comes from rivers and runoffs, which are mainly located in southern China. Based on these numbers, we can tell where most of the water is being used and where it comes from, but we still don't understand what's causing the country to run out of water. There are a few important factors which are behind the water crisis that are all affecting the problem in a different way. A key factor is the uneven distribution of water resources. This is where the population divide line comes into play. 94% of China's population lives east of this line, with only 6% on the western side. This means that the majority of the country's water reserves are not located anywhere near their intended usage location. The water crisis has turned out to be an expensive problem for the Chinese government, as now they have to divert water from the wet regions in the south to the drought-plagued north. Experts have assessed that the country loses over $100 billion annually as a result of water scarcity. The Chinese government has attempted to solve the problem using a variety of methods, such as building dams and diverting water supply lines. But most of these plans to solve the problem have had devastating effects on the environment and other countries in Central Asia. Water resource management has also played a role in the water crisis. Over 80% of groundwater in northeast China is considered to be undrinkable due to high levels of pollution. The Chinese government is working to improve the quality of water throughout the country, with large infrastructure projects such as the South-North Water Transfer Project. The government is spending more than $60 billion to transfer water from rivers in southern China and divert the water to supply the dry northern rivers. Although this project is promising in solving the water crisis, its completion date of 2050 shows that it will not have immediate benefits in solving China's water problem. Now that we understand that China's depleted water supply is caused by multiple complex problems, many questions emerge regarding how the government will handle the problem in the future. But first, I want to thank NordVPN for sponsoring this video. NordVPN is a safe and easy-to-use VPN that allows you to stay safe while browsing on the internet. With unlimited bandwidth and an automatic kill switch, NordVPN is the best option to keep all of your devices safe. While researching for my videos, I personally use NordVPN to make sure I stay safe on the websites I visit. Its sleek design allows you to connect to thousands of servers in over 50 different countries. You can also have up to 6 simultaneous connections all at once, perfect for all of your devices. It's also compatible with most operating systems, such as Windows and Mac OS, and it even has an easy-to-use Chrome browser extension. NordVPN is simple to use and can be connected with just one click. You can get an exclusive NordVPN deal with a 30-day money-back guarantee by going to nordvpn.com/archive or by using the link in the description. The Chinese government has stated that they do have plans to tackle the water crisis and are determined to solve the problem. As we have already seen the South-North Water Transfer Project, what else does the Chinese government plan to do to put an end to the water crisis? One option the Chinese government is considering is to use desalination plants to keep up with the rising demand for fresh water. The government has created a plan that will invest into building new desalination plants over the next 3 years, and will build them in various provinces across the country. The government has stated that desalination plants will become a major backup source to municipal water supplies in regions suffering from water shortages. Another option the government is considering is limiting water consumption from its population and various industries, such as farming. In the past, the government has set a goal for a 30% decrease in water consumption in something called a 5-year plan. In 2016, the 13th Water Consumption Limit Plan was introduced, and it had some benefit to the country's water supply. These guidelines helped China slightly drop its year-over-year water consumption, although in the end it didn't make much of a difference. The state of China's water supply system is at its worst point in history, with many experts warning that China needs to act to solve the problem immediately. As the country continues to develop, its water supply infrastructure will only continue to deteriorate, only worsening the problem. The Chinese government has set a goal to reduce their water usage per unit of GDP by 16% by the next 3 years. Other goals include having China's total water consumption increase by 100 billion cubic meters by 2030. These are extremely high expectations for a country whose economy continues to accelerate and is home to the largest population in the world. But the government setting goals shows that they are working to solve the problem and are taking the steps to limit water consumption within the next few years. Throughout the past few decades, the Chinese water crisis has caused many problems throughout the country and for its residents. While some have offered praise to China's management of this complex problem, others have voiced concerns and criticisms with China's handling of the water crisis. Even after tens of billions of dollars were invested into various infrastructure projects in an attempt to solve the water crisis, most of these developments have not made any difference or offered any relief to the provinces across China that battle with this crisis every day. Throughout the next few years, the Chinese government needs to take action on this serious problem that its residents and industries face every day. If China's economy and its population continues to increase, it will only place more stress on the current water supply infrastructure throughout the country. Many experts have also pointed out that China's aging pipes and water infrastructure could be playing a part in the water crisis we see today. Most of China's water infrastructure is decades old, and it's beginning to deteriorate. A lot is on the line for China as they are battling one of the most important problems the country is facing, and only time will tell if they end up solving this problem successfully. Water supply is one of the most important necessities to a country, and the government needs to take action immediately to prepare the country for a future ahead. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, and thanks again to NordVPN for sponsoring this video.